Hey everybody, this is Bonnie Barker with Bonnie Bay Crochet, and welcome to Friday Fun Live. I'm so glad you joined me today. This is a very special day. This is a day that we Christians across the world celebrate Good Friday. So I wanted to just start by playing one of my favorite songs. It's called "Though Sacred Head Now Wounded." Just going to play one verse for you, and then we'll get started. All right. I hope you enjoyed that. It's one of my very favorite songs. First time I ever heard that was actually sung by Amy Grant in 1981. So it's been a long time. It's been a favorite for a long time for me. Um, okay, let's go ahead and get started. Welcome. I just want to go ahead and start off by just saying, hey to some of y'all who've been waiting so patiently in the live chat. Alana, thank you for being the first to join us today. And Deborah, hi to you. And Wanda Gordon, so good to see you from Bahama, North Carolina. And she says, hope all has a good Friday and a blessed Easter Sunday. Yes. Praying for everyone. Thank you so much, Wanda. Yeah, looking forward to celebrating resurrection. Of course, today, we celebrate, the day he was crucified on the cross. And as Christians, we believe that was for our many sins, and this covers us through the centuries. It's just quite an amazing day in a lot of ways. Without this day, you obviously wouldn't have Easter, or I should say more properly, Resurrection Sunday, and of course, they wouldn't even celebrate Christmas because it would really not mean anything without a resurrected Lord. So such a special weekend coming up here. And anyway, Darlene, hello to you from Georgia. And yes, Deborah, so good to have you with us live. So I'm so glad you could join us. And I'm going to show you what we're working on in just a minute. I've got an absolute surprise. I'll go ahead and show you guys because this is a lot of fun. This totally came together in about 2 or 3 days. And for those of you who are my watch subscribers, this is not anything new to you because I just released this yesterday and added it to the watch channel. And this is the baby blanket that is coming out on Monday. And what I love about this is it's totally reversible. I think the back side looks just as beautiful, if not more so, than the front side. And I'm calling this the diagonal shell baby blanket. You can see how this shell is crocheted. Of course, the video will demonstrate it fully for you. I really like this shell even a little bit better than the traditional shell. It's not as much of a yarn eater as the regular shell. So there's a little more, you can see a little more space, in between. But I just love the colors. This is the, I don't usually use a lot of Red Heart, but I use this one because I love the colors. It's the Red Heart Super Saver. It's called Stripe. So it has the long colorways, totally self-striping. This is an easy beginner project, and it works up. You could work this up in a weekend. It goes as fast as that. And I used 3 skeins of this yarn. And I think this is gonna be just, brilliant for baby's eyes. So that, Deborah, is the absolute newest thing that I've been working on, but I do have some other surprises to show you. Um, yeah, I have some other surprises coming in the hour, so please stay tuned. Brad's mom, it's good to see you in the chat, Linda. And she says, good morning, Bonnie, Hannah, and all my dear Yarnies. I won't be with you during the live. I have to drop some stuff off for my aunt who is in a nursing home. That's just like you guys, just if you got to miss, it's because you're serving somebody, or I mean, I think it's just wonderful. I mean, that's just a sign of the kind of audience that follows. I thank you so much. You guys are my heroes. Just looking out for other people. So thank you for doing that, Linda. If you get to see the rebroadcast, thank you. And yes, happy Easter to you too. I love the little bunnies and everything. Um, and thanks, Linda said. Also, don't forget to hit that thumbs up if you would like. That would be greatly appreciated. It helps us go a little bit further. And also, if you have trouble, like ever have trouble finding, let's say you're working on a project video and you can't find it again online and you have to hunt for it. If you click on it that you like the video, it will automatically be stored into your YouTube liked videos. So you can just look through a small list there. Hopefully it's a long list that you like a lot of stuff, but if it's things that you want to go back to again to review, like it will be added to your playlist on your homepage. Okay. It's just a cool feature that YouTube has. Um, Sheila Smith, she says, good morning from Western North Carolina. Happy to join you all. Usually I'm at work, but I have the day off. Looking forward to what Bonnie has in store for us. Well, thank you for joining us, Sheila. Love your state. I travel through it a lot, usually on the east side, but I did go skiing many, many years ago. I have some very fond memories in the mountains of North Carolina, up around Kitty Hawk, if you know where that is. Went skiing there many, many years ago and had a blast doing it. I'm not a regular skier. I'm not a real good skier, but I did get to go 3 times in my life, and 2 of them were at Kitty Hawk. I'm not Kitty Hawk, at, Hawk's Nest, North Carolina. There is a Kitty Hawk, but that's around the Outer Banks, and I did honeymoon there, so we've done a lot of stuff in North Carolina over the years. And let's see, we have Margita. Hey, Margita, and Angie. Good morning to you, my friend. And Cynthia, glad you could join us. She says she's joining us from sunny but cool Illinois. Yeah, it's actually sunny here. We haven't seen the sun in a couple days, and to be honest with you, I was just struggling with the doldrums. Just I had plenty to do, and I did do work, but it's just kind of like, ugh, slugging along like a slog. And yeah, but the sun is out now. I'm talking to my besties here online. So this is going to be a good day. So I'm looking forward to maybe getting out in the sunshine a little bit and making some vitamin D. um, and Debbie says, "Happy Easter! Still working on the on a hill far away pattern, coming to the end of the perimeter rows. I think soon, making progress. Yay!" Well, just to let you know, and I know you know this, Debbie, and for the rest of you too, the Easter throw is not just for, you can see it behind me here. It's not just for Easter, it's for all year round. I mean, every single Sunday we go to church, we celebrate the resurrection. So you can work on this any time of the year. So I know it's kind of pigeonholed by name into the Easter season, but Easter resurrection season, however you want to call it. But you can work on this any time of the year. You have my permission. The same for Christmas. If you want to celebrate Christmas all year long, go right ahead. I'm all for it. I'm right behind you there. Hannah, thank you so much for being there. She just got done serving grandma. So thank you so much for um, looking out for us too. She's doing double duty. She's juggling right now, but thank you, Hannah, for being here for us. And Cynthia Burke says she's almost done too. Just about 6 rows left. Yay. Please send me pictures of that, you all, if you can. I'm going to go ahead and put my email in the chat here. Pardon the bouncing. Okay, you can always send me a photo to Bonnie Bay at me.com. And I love to, I mean, I don't share everything necessarily, but if I have permission to share, I try to share as much as I can on social media. And it doesn't even have to be my designs. I mean, I just love to see anything that you're working on, really. Anything that's going to be, beneficial. Um, so anyway, but if you have finished the Easter throw, please send me a picture. I would love to compile a group of them so that we can make a video, just a slideshow on just all the different variations. I know Esther, one of our administrators, has been working on this, and she's using crazy multicolored yarn, and it's looking great. So, I mean, it's going to have a different vibe to it, but I think it's going to be just beautiful and stunning. So, what I've seen has looked fantastic. So, Esther, if you're listening, please send me a picture when you're done. I would love to see it, honey. And Jacqueline says, "Good morning to everyone. Glad to be here for the live this time. Happy Resurrection Sunday to all that observe." Yes, amen. Ah, such a good thing to celebrate in the midst of, things always happening. And oh, thank you guys. Some of you sent word to me. You saw what happened this week on the Baltimore Francis Scott Key Bridge. That's more than an hour from me, and I don't usually go that direction. And actually, I don't think I've ever been over that bridge, but I've seen it a lot. Being from the area. But thank you for your. I know that image is just incredible. It just looked like something out of an action movie than reality. And so I know that many of you have been thinking about the people here in Maryland. It's going to affect the state for a while, just in transportation. But primarily right now, our concern is for the people who lost family members and people who were involved in the accident. So, yeah, thank you for your concern. Some of you have contacted me, want to make sure I was okay. I'm fine. I'm not near that area so much, but I do have friends who are. So, thank you for your concern. A really dear friend of mine, Molly, lives just north of that area. So yeah, thank you for your concern for the people in our area. That was anyway. Like I say, in the midst of um, just really shocking things, it's kind of nice to have something very positive this weekend to celebrate in the midst, no matter what. We can always celebrate the resurrection of our Lord and Savior. So, anyway, thanks again. You guys are just really amazing. Kelly Dies, good to see you, my friend. I hope we get to meet again. Maybe go out with a group to Olive Garden in Pittsburgh for the festival. I don't know, no pressure, but I always enjoy hanging out with you and some of the ladies that attend that. And happy Friday to you too. And Crochet Done My Way. Good to see you in the chat, Miss Wanda. And yeah, thank you, Cynthia, for being there and encouraging my daughter. And Jacqueline says they're going to have a wet weekend here in Los Angeles. I thought it never rained in Southern California, Jacqueline. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, well, make the best of it. I just hope it doesn't cause too many problems there. And Christina, welcome to our chat. Thank you for that little heart. That is so cute. And Kathleen Dana says Friday is here, but Sunday is coming. Yes, thank you, Jesus, for your love. Absolutely. Yes. We celebrate the crucifixion today, but Sunday is coming. Absolutely. Mm, uh, Thank you, Chris Barnes, for your comment. I guess that was about the blanket. Thank you. Thank you. And let's see. Cynthia Dalton says, Happy Good Friday. Sunday is coming. Yes, it is. And hey, Denise, waving right back at you. Um, and Red Hook says, Happy Good Friday, everyone, from a chilly, sunny Northeast Ohio. Ooh, stay warm. Spring is here, but summer is coming. Well, the better part of spring is coming too. So, we can hang on just a little bit. I know this is frivolous, but I did get to go out a couple days ago with the top down on the car on the little Miata. It was so refreshing to feel the sunshine again. Of course, then it was followed by 2 days of rain, which I stayed home and worked faithfully on crochet. But anyway, it was great to get out and just have a little taste. I kept the windows up because it was still a little cool. It was like 66 degrees, but it's like heck, this is coming down. We're gonna pretend it's a Sunday, a warm day in the sun today. So that was fun as I actually drove to the Salvation Army to make something, donate some stuff, and also picked up some things that I'm going to tell you about in a little bit that I'm going to be including in my crochet. So, yeah, and Najula, good to see you in the chat. She says hello to all of you. Happy Easter to all of you. How sweet. And thank you, Denise, again. And Felicia, good afternoon to you. Um, and Debbie Newton says, yes, without Jesus, Christmas season would just be December and Easter would just be spring. Yeah, Easter would just be bunny rabbits and eggs. Just which actually I heard today, got a little more instruction. Easter technically is a pagan holiday. It celebrates a fertility thing, back from pagan god thing, and that's where the bunnies and the Easter eggs come from. It just so happens that Christians decided to celebrate resurrection at the same time. So that's why the words are synonymous and actually interchangeable these days. And it just communicates. When you say Easter, most people are talking the Christian version of that holiday. But it's interesting that if you go back far enough, in history, it's anyway, interesting kind of word study there. Heard that on the morning. It's called the Daily Briefing by Al Mohler. If y'all ever are looking for just a little bit of news with the Christian worldview, I do recommend his podcast. It's called Daily Briefing with Al Mohler. Really good for me to listen to personally. Don't know if you enjoy that or not, but it's about 23 minutes, 25 minutes in the morning. And while I'm getting my breakfast, it's just a good perspective for me to get my day started. And June, good to welcome to you from another rainy day in Liverpool. Oh my goodness. Welcome, June. So glad that you can join us. That's I guess, yeah, it isn't. You're ahead of us. So you're probably getting near dinner time there in England. Um, we're barely getting ready for lunch here in the US. So kind of fun. All right, oh, come on. I'm trying to get out of this thing. If I click here. Oh, come on. This, let's get this away. All right, got it off. Oh, thank you, Felicia, for your sweet comment. And Phil, welcome to you. I was thinking of you, Phil, when specifically you. I was thinking of you, Phil, and Wanda when I heard about the bridge um, collapsing in Baltimore this week, because I know that for truckers, that's going to be an incredible hardship if you make deliveries in this area, because the alternate routes, I think the main alternate route is under a tunnel, and trucks are not allowed to go in the tunnel. So you have to take this wide, extra time consuming trip around, which of course is going to be even more crowded with traffic because of the lack of this Francis Scott Key Bridge that probably won't be completed for, I'm guessing, for years, but or at least for close to a year, if at that. Let me go ahead and get my messages opened up. I almost forgot about you, Hannah. Oh, wow. Cool. Rebecca says that that her son goes to Southern Seminary where Al Mohler is president. That's pretty cool. That is pretty cool. Really enjoy listening to him. He's more of a reform point of view, if that means anything to any of you all out there. But definitely enjoy that. Okay, and Najla wants to know, for the Holy Friday, do you not eat meat? In France, for the day before Easter, we don't. Um, that's, I guess, kind of a tradition with some people. I think that's more the Catholic Christians that do that more than the Protestants, Najla. So, I mean, that's not something we personally practice. It's something my mom and dad used to practice, but um, they were coming from Ohio. I think where there was more influence from the Catholic faith there. So yeah, that's not a hard and fast rule for us, but some people do practice that. Yeah, but that's a great question. Yeah, that's it's nice having freedom, in Christ and in the United States too. But oh, thank you, Lynn. She says she likes my shawl. She's could I show it, please? Sure. This is one of the first things I ever knit. Do you remember when Knit Crate was in business? And I loved Knit Crate. They had the most beautiful yarn, but unfortunately, business-wise, the pandemic kind of killed their business because, as you remember, we had the supply delays and, you know, um, anyway, the supply chain kind of backed up, and they couldn't deliver as promised. And again, it wasn't their fault. It just was COVID, and COVID, killed a lot of businesses. Unfortunately, Knit Crate was one of them. But it's a shawl. Let me see if I can show you. And I've kind of pinned it up in a couple of places so I can wear it kind of like a top, using Jewel Designs little stud buttons here. Um, it's kind of hard to show you the whole thing, but it's a big triangular shawl, and it's knitting the basket weave stitch, which you do a lot of purls and then a lot of knits, and then you're increasing. So I learned a lot from this project. It's not my design. I can't remember whose design it was, but thanks. It's the first time I actually worn it. I just thought the black and white would kind of, match the shirt a little bit better. But I'm really enjoying these stud buttons though, because you can, configure a shawl so that it almost wears like a I don't know, wears like a top almost. So I'm really enjoying that. But this was a bear for me to complete. It took me more than a year to complete it because it was using this yarn that was two threads that were intertwined. It's like a black and a white thread together. And it was also a fingering weight yarn. So very, it makes for a very nice lightweight fabric. But it was a lot of knitting for this beginning knitter at the time, but I'm so glad I finished it. And yeah, I was going to show you something up there, but maybe I'll do that next week. Yeah. Um, where can you find the pattern for that? I honestly don't know. Um, you can look, you can try going to knitcrate.com and seeing if they have, that's KNITCR. Let me just, I don't even know. I don't even know if this website is going to work. I'll put it in the chat here. Again, they may be totally gone, but they would be the source of the patterns, and that's where I got the pattern. It came in the kit, and I'm pretty sure I don't have that pattern anymore. I didn't really want to make another one. If I did make another one, I would probably change the design again, and I might actually do that. I might try doing a knit project for you all. Don't know how well that would go over, but yeah, thank you for sending me the questions, Hannah. I so appreciate it. Thanks for that question, Lynn. Archer Ace is in the chat. Happy Easter to you, Terry. Thank you again for your card this week. That was so kind. Oh, thank you, Denise. I guess you like the baby blanket. Thank you, thank you. Yeah, and Cynthia says love the colors. Yeah, the colors. I mean, I know some of you don't like Red Heart yarn. I mean, it's not the softest stuff around, but again, if it's for a baby blanket, you want it to survive the wash and the dry cycle, and it'll do that. But the colors are stunning, and after a few washes, and if you put some fabric softener in there, it'll soften up a little bit. But better than that, it'll hold up. It'll hold up to the wear and tear um, of what a baby can dish out, and babies can dish it out from both ends. And it is, babies are great. Let's see here. Yeah, thank you guys. June. Yeah, thank you. Mara from Italy. Welcome, welcome. Buongiorno. I'm so glad you could be here. And I wish I knew more Italian, but that's about half of what I know. Um, all right. Thank you again, Hannah. You're doing a great job, sweetheart. Um, oh, and Archer says, I have tons of self stripes. There you go. That's all you need. This is that's what I love about these is it just lets the color do all the work for you. And it's just a simple 2-row repeat. 2-row repeat. I mean, the video from beginning to end, which includes a short tutorial on how you can block this. I used just a wet blocking method in the pattern because the pattern does tend to kind of go diagonally as well. But if you pull on it and you block it, you can make it into a square. Um, Another thing, if that doesn't work for you, you can also do steam blocking where you take a steam iron, but you don't let the iron touch the fabric. But if you just hold this, push the steam button and let the steam, heat the fabric, that might even help a little bit better. I probably should have done that in the video, but I did the wet blocking because that's just my good old standby. But you do want to be careful. You don't want to melt the yarn when you do the steam blocking. That's the one danger. Um, Thank you, Linda. She says, the baby blanket's very beautiful and I love the shells on the edge. Yeah. And the edge, I learned the front from the first shell baby blanket. Everyone's like, well, where's the edging? And I'm like, it really doesn't need an edging. But I went ahead and put an edging and I just continue. It's the same pattern. It's the same row 1 or yeah, row 3 or whatever. So I just continued the same pattern all the way around, showed you how I did it. Very easy. Very, relatively speaking, very short video. Like I said, like 27 minutes from start to finish. And yeah. Okay. Good morning. Is it Evangeline? Good to have you with us. And Joni. Oh, she says, I love your baby blankets. I've donated 2 to my church for a charity for a ministry called Walking with Pregnant Moms. Oh, that's so sweet of you, Joni. I need to go through my baby blankets and do the same thing. I really do, because there's a really good pregnancy center up the road from us that I like to help every so often. I need to be more proactive on that. And Olga, thank you for your kind comment about the blanket, sweetheart. And waving right back at you, Rebecca. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Archernay. She says, blessed Easter to all. Beth loves the gift. Oh, that's so great. Um, it's always good to just clear some things out, things that you've been holding on to. That's what I had to just, my daughter was here. Becky was here with us for about a week with little Rex, and we had a great time together. And despite the urgent care visit, but it was great going through a lot of stuff. And I was able to ask her, "Do you want this? Do you want that?" And really good stuff. And she's like, "No." And I knew it wasn't anything I was going to do in my lifetime. So it was a pleasure to get things that are good things in the hands of somebody who can really appreciate and use them, when you're not going to do that. I like to do that with my yarn too. If I have yarn in my stash that it's like, I'm never going to use that, or not in the next 5 years, I'd like to pass it on to somebody who will. Okay, I just had a comment from Phil I wanted to read. Oh, I'm so far behind again. Um, Okay, Phil says, I've decided to dive into the world of knitting. I bought a bunch of Lion brand needles from the store the other day, bamboo ones. I've been told they are the best to start with. Are they circular needles? I personally like the circular needles, but yeah, bamboo or any kind of wood, something that has a little bit of grip for the yarn, I prefer to start. I know expert knitters, which I do not consider myself an expert knitter in any way, shape, or form. They like the metal ones. I can't stand the metal clicking together and making that noise. It just doesn't serve me. And also the yarn just flies off of those. Well, my knitting is not considered flying. So yeah, I think you've made a good choice. I hope that works out for you, Phil. I do have some very beginning level videos on my channel. Of course, you can do a quick Google search or do a search on YouTube and find a lot of other really good knitting videos. So have fun doing that. And since you're already a crocheter, stick with continental style if you can. I think you'll find that it makes use of your muscle memory a lot more than the English method. I'm not against, not pinning one against the other here. It's just that if you're already doing one thing a certain way, the continental style will just suit you better if you've never knit before. Well, and Najla said, I guess I don't know if it was the song, reminded me her of a song by Christopher Cross, Ride Like the Wind. Oh, I love Christopher Cross's music, Najla. He's so good. Has a great voice. Um, and good morning to you, Rebecca from Parkersburg, West Virginia. That's probably not that far from here, in Maryland. We go over to West Virginia every so often. Um, and Gilma, hello to you. And Lori from Wisconsin. And good morning, Sandra. And okay, fonts. Okay. And Gilma, yeah, okay. Um, and Phil says it's sunny here at home in New York. Thermometer says 51 degrees currently. Okay. Yeah, enjoy that. 51 in the sun feels good. Trust me, after it's been freezing for so long, it just feels warmer than that, I bet. And Glenda says, Happy Good Friday morning from Northern California. Thank you, Glenda. And Lorraine says, Can't wait to start your poncho. Such a beautiful pattern. Well, thank you, Lorraine. I've got a bunch of them out there, but yeah, whichever one I'd love to see when you're finished. Um, and Maria says, Hello and happy Good Friday. Well, welcome to our chat, Maria. And Cynthia is joining us from Michigan. We have Ekstrom. Says Happy Good Friday, Bonnie and Philly, and everyone in the chat. Thank you so much. We have Coffee Cat Crochet. That is a cool name. Says Happy Easter, everyone, and aloha from Las Vegas. First time here and alive, and I'm making my first Bonnie Bay design, the Lavina, as a gift. That's the poncho from my stepsister. Oh, and my name is pronounced Olii. Wow. Well, welcome to the chat. I'm just going to go with Coffee Cat Crochet. I love that name too. I'm so glad you could join us. We love having new folks here. I think you'll find that people are very welcoming, very, very good people. Well, let me go ahead and show you some other things. I'll tell you some other things that are going on. I mentioned this last week. If you're a watch subscriber, this is a subscription-based channel. It's not the YouTube channel. It's another channel. It's a $7.95 a month or $79.50 a year. It's a channel where I have a lot of the same designs plus additional exclusive designs that don't appear here publicly. I also have some recorded classes that I have taught on there. And also we try to do a monthly Zoom class, which are live interactive classes, and it's all inclusive. There's no extra charge for that. And whenever I release new designs like the baby blanket pattern, you don't have to buy the pattern. I sell the patterns in my Lovecraft stores and occasionally in my Etsy store. The Lovecraft store is the more complete, but I do have some things on my Etsy store as well. But if you're a watch subscriber, then you can download the pattern or which is a PDF format, download it complimentary. So you don't have to, pay for anything outside of that. So just wanted to let you know if y'all are interested, I do still have some space in for the upcoming Tuesday class. That's this Tuesday, April 2nd. I'm going to be teaching two sections you can choose from. You can either choose 2 to 4 p.m. or 7 to 9 p.m. These are Eastern times. And the topic is Celtic weave and beyond. And we're going to cover at least 3 different ways that you can work Celtic weave, which will include working it in straight rows as well as in the round. That's been a complicated stitch. It's a stitch that can be a real stinker sometimes to learn. And I'm going to take it real slow with you. You may or may not conquer the stitch from the class, but a little bit of practice doesn't hurt. Um, so anyway, if you're interested in joining that live time together, if you are a watch subscriber, email me. And if you're not a watch subscriber, you can become a watch subscriber and then join the class. But I do need you to email me, bonniebay@me.com, so that I can put you in the class. And if the classes get, really full, then I can open up another time for everybody or another date and time. So that's why I ask you to email me so that I don't just send out the link to my watch subscribers. Because if we had 50 people there, it would not work in the same way that if you just have 20 or so people there. So I'd like to try to cap it at about 20 per class. So anyway, email me, bonniebay@me.com if you're a watch subscriber, or if you're not a watch subscriber, become one and then email me and I'll be happy to add you to that. And also with the watch, okay, I'm not going to talk too much more about this, but if you're on a month to month, which is $7.95 a month, you can stop at any time. Now, if you decide to get the year, it's kind of a one-shot deal. It's you save money in that 2 months are free if you buy the 79.50 for the year. The only downside to that is it's hard to cancel. Maybe I think well maybe you can, but I it would be prorated and it wouldn't really be in your favor. But anyway, just to let you know that if you wanna just jump in and try it for a month and then decide one way or the other, it's just $7.95, which is probably less than what people pay, um, going through a fast food drive-through or picking up their coffee in the morning, for those of you who drink coffee. I'm not a coffee drinker, I spend that on yarn, but anyway, um all right, so let me go ahead. Hannah sent me a couple questions from one from Terry Redmond. Says, have you ever tried, is it Purim knitting needles, Prym, from the UK? They're white, plastic, and work well when working with dark yarn. No, I have not. I just have well, actually I have two sets and they're both from Knit Picks and they're the interchangeable. So I have I don't have them with me to show you, but there's a pack of them, and it has like different sizes, like 8 different sizes in the pack, and I can connect them with different size wires. So I have two sets of those: a dark, beautiful, multicolor wood set, and then a light colored wood set because the light I felt like records better with them. But no, I'll have to look at those. I'm I don't have a lot of knitting needles. I guess I'm kind of old school. I find something that works and stick with it. But I will be on the lookout for those, Terry, and see if I can find those. And from Stephanie says I attempted the Inishman poncho, but got stuck on the collar. Couldn't tell how the chain 21 part was attached to the panel. I got lost and gave up. Stephanie, you can email me, bonniebay@me.com. I think Hannah said she gave you my email. You can contact me and we can work that out. And I can see if I can help you. The key there for those 21 stitches is when you start off, you're only working in the front loop, not both loops, just the front loop. Then when you come around, you work in the remaining loop of those 21 stitches. So that's how it kind of creates an overlapping collar so that I should do it this way, so that when you fold it down, it can, separate with the buttons and whatnot. But thank you for sending me the question, Hannah. Um, and hi, Paula. I'm glad you could join us. And Sheila Smith says, Amen, sister. We celebrate the resurrection of Jesus every day. Yes, ma'am. Yes, we do. And Kathleen, yes, says again, Friday is here, but Sunday is coming. Glory to God for his grace. Amen to that, Kathleen. Thank you, ma'am. She says, I finally have time to join your Friday fun. My daughter Nancy and I are happy to be here. Yay. Hi, daughter Nancy. And they're sending greetings from Northwest New Jersey. Okay, Northwest. You guys are not that far from me. Maybe a couple hours. Yeah. Jersey, not too far. My son used to go up to New Jersey all the time to visit his girlfriend, which now they are married. So his wife, and they're in Pittsburgh, just across the border there. Actually, it's more than across the border. It's quite a ways, but anyway. Welcome, Sheila. And Linda said, "Oh, I get that, Linda." She says, "I've been suffering with arthritis lately. Usually, I don't do much crocheting in April because it's always raining, and that's the type of weather that makes me crabby." Yeah, I get that. I get that. Um, yeah, but April showers bring May flowers, isn't that? And what do May flowers bring? Pilgrims, right? Okay, okay, silly, silly. Yeah, April's a good month though. Here we have one, two, three, four or five birthdays in our family, in our immediate family in April. So it's uh it's a lot of birthdays coming up. Rebecca wants to know, have you done Tunisian crochet? If so, what are your thoughts? Well, I think Tunisian crochet is beautiful. I have done some Tunisian crochet, a very small amount. Um, Confession, I'm not a huge fan, especially since I learned to knit. I really like the knitting. It's just an opinion, okay? And that's what you're asking for. I can point you in the direction of some excellent Tunisian crochet artist. I would start with Brenda Berg. Her Berg is spelled Bourg. She has a book on the market that is beautiful for Tunisian crochet. The other is Sandy. Uh, what's her last name? A gal named Sandy. She has a booklet. Come on, what's her last name? Anyway, my friend Sandy has a booklet with Annie's that's also fantastic. And she's got some beautiful designs there. So I think you just need to try it. It's like food, you have to just give it a taste and see if you like it. You don't have to like everything. Um, I don't do other needle art works that I adore. They're beautiful. I like cross stitch. I have about 3 or 4 cross stitches that I made in my lifetime, and I'm done. I'm not making any more. I love cross stitch. It's beautiful. I've done it. I don't enjoy it in the same way that I do knitting and crochet. So I stick with what I like. But you may love Tunisian. I have people who just love, you know, doing Tunisian crochet. I'm just not one of them. So I definitely encourage you to dive in and give it a go, and let me know what you think. I will say that getting good tools is important, and if you're going to try it, I would get the Tunisian. They have Tunisian hooks that are the same length or so as a regular crochet hook, and then they have like a way to screw on, or they have a an attachment with, kind of a wire with a plug on the end. So you don't have to hold onto this really long Tunisian hooks. I have some Tunisian hooks that were given to me from someone's stash from many years ago. And these things are like 12 to 18 inches long. They feel very heavy in my hand. They hurt my hand to use. I did get some bamboo, like Phil says, bamboo Tunisian hooks that have attachments, just kind of like I don't have any to show you. They're in my drawer there. It take me 5 minutes to dig them out. Um, it's kind of like circular knitting needles in a sense, but they're not circular. They just have an attached what do you call that? Well, anyway, an attachment to them, so you don't have to hold on to a big needle and hold all that bulk in your hand. So try to find something like that, so that you can try Tunisian. I think, and let me know. Let me know if what you think about it. I think Tony Lipsy also does a lot of Tunisian. You may want to check out her channel and tell her Bonnie sent you. Don't know Tony all that well, but I know she does excellent work with the Tunisian, so you can give that a try. Oh, how sweet. Rose from, I guess she speaks Portuguese. I don't know if she's from Brazil or Portugal, but said she had a dream that she met us. I would love to meet you, Rose. That would, and if it's in Brazil, all the better. I would love to be able to travel more. I haven't traveled outside the country since 2002. I'm starting to get the itch, but don't have any plans It's not a real good time for that right now, but I would love to meet you sometime in Brazil. Um, all right, let's keep on going through the chat here. We are getting low on time. I wanted to show you. Okay, I'm going to try to get to as much as I can on the chat, but I do want to show you some things. This is in preparation for the good weather that is coming. I wanted to show you my progress on my sweater. Um, I put a picture of that in my newsletter, which you can, if you're not a member of, if you're not on my newsletter, it's free. And you can just go to bonniebay.com and you can sign up for my newsletter. I try to send it out every week, but I haven't. The last one that I sent out was like the second one in the month. So it's been a while. And I showed you a picture of this. I got a little further. I'm like within a few rows of stopping. I tried it on this morning and it's fitting very well. I know this looks kind of boring to show it to you here, but when you put it on, it does form to you a bit, which is what I want. And it's not over tight either. So just to show you, this is one of my sweater patterns that was released recently. It's called the Celtic braided sweater. And all I did is I used the universal bamboo pop sock yarn, the solid here, and up top is the color changing yarn. And I did go up a size. I decided that since this is cotton-esque and nature, it does shrink a little bit when you wash. So I upped the sizing. Instead of making my usual large, I made an extra large just so that there is a little room for some shrinkage in the yarn. And I'm really glad that I did that. I didn't do that on a sweater I made a couple years ago, and it still fits, but it's a little tight. So I decided to just make this a little bit bigger, and so I'll be done with this in a few days, probably, or whenever I sit down and just put another hour into it, it'll be done. So that's what you can do. All you do is just don't make the sleeves on the sweater. I may go back and add a trim around the neck. I'm not sure yet if I'm going to do that. I'm thinking about it. But let me show you some other sweaters that you can make on my site for the summer. I don't remember the names of these. This is has the word shell in it. These have been packed away, so they might be a little bit wrinkled. But this is another fun sweater to wear. These are made of cotton. Definitely, they're also thinner yarns. So when you go to make sweaters, don't use acrylic because that's going to make you sweat. It's going to be hot. Most of these use either a sport or this was actually made using a DK weight um, cotton yarn. But and you can see what that is if you go to the video and you can click on the video description. I should have the information there. But here's another made of the bamboo pop sock yarn, which I was telling you that I just so love. I did make another sweater with the popcorn uh, with the long sleeves, but this is the summer version of that, and I have worn this for a few years, a few summers. And as you can see, the yarn holds up. It holds up to washing. Of course, don't put these in the dryer. Make sure you get a sweater dryer, which is like a something that you can hang in your shower so that these can dry flat. Here's another one. Um, this is an alternative color that I used. This is I did have some of this yarn. The yarn's been discontinued, but it was all in one hank like this. But you can easily put other yarns together if you have some fingering weight cottons. And this is the one that featured that pattern on my YouTube thumbnail. And again, this was a special yarn. All of these colors came off the same ball of yarn, or it's like a big cake of yarn. I'm getting enough of these so that I can just wear crochet every day in the summertime, which is pretty amazing. Here's one with the cables, and this is using a thicker yarn. I believe this was a sport or DK weight yarn, but you could certainly go down. This is a little bit more of a fitted sweater, but And most of these use a lot, as you can see, a lot of the wattle stitch, just the wattle stitch, which I like to use because it gives ease stretch this way and this way, even if your yarn is not particularly stretchy. And this is, again, the same popcorn pattern, but I use some fingering weight wool. That's something you can do. You can use wool. Um, so this is my candy shirt where I have the Oreo cookie. Uh, Oreo cookie was the name of this yarn I got from an indie dyer, and then I think there's Snickers and then chocolate or something like that. So it's just kind of a whimsical, fun candy shirt to wear. Again, the same pattern that I showed you with the blue sweater. And this is a fun one. This is a lace design. It's the crow feet lace. And honestly, if I had just kept going, maybe upsized my needle a little bit, I could have just made this into a dress. You just keep going and going, and you can make this into a longer top or even a dress. So lots that you can do. There's no reason why we have to give up, the joy of our crochet and even of wearing it in the summertime. Um, I have I have two more things to show you. I've been holding these back. I'm so excited about these. I finally finished because one thing that I absolutely love to wear as probably as much as crochet is denim. I wear jeans just about every day, even to church a lot of the times. I'm not going to do that. This Sunday, I've got a real pretty dress that I'll pull out of my closet for Easter, but generally dressing up jeans. I love jeans. I love wearing jeans jackets. I have a couple of them that I interchange. I have some with fringe on them. And well, I'm working on combining jeans material and crochet. And I'm having a blast doing it. I have two completed projects I want to show you, but I want to tell you this week when I went out on that sunny day to the Salvation Army to make a donation, and I did some shopping there as well. And I got two more jackets that I can use in these designs. Obviously, I don't want to take a $50 or $60 jacket and cut it up and experiment with it. I'm not doing that. I've got a couple of really nice jackets that are going to stay the way they are. But the jackets that I have gotten to work with have been from discount places. And then again, like I said, you can look in thrift stores and you can find jackets and then just do some experimenting with them. So here's one that I did, and I love the way this fits. I took actually, this was a $10 jacket from a store called Charlotte Russe. And I cut the sleeve. Let me show you. This is the sleeve. I think I talked about this last week, but I cut the sleeve of the jacket off. And I didn't throw it away because the jacket sleeve that I cut off, now you have a pattern for the sleeve. Okay. So let me just pick up my glasses here. Okay, I'm reading your questions. Okay. Oh, thank you, Rose, for your sweet comment. Hannah sets me questions about, can I show everybody what's in the white basket? The white basket. I'll get back to the jacket, I promise. It's just some various yarns, and this is the Abigail baby blanket. That's what's in the basket. This is some really fun yarn I'm going to have to work with at some point. So yeah, that's what's in the basket. This is the Abigail baby blanket, and you can check that out on my channel. But getting back to the jackets, I finished this, and what I did is I added popcorn sleeves with the ribbing at the bottom. And I tell you what, this is not bragging on me. It's more bragging on the yarn. These sleeves on this jacket like this are so much more comfortable than this. And I dare say they're going to be probably a little bit warmer, but they're a lot more comfortable. And I think it's going to be a really fun spring jacket to wear. So when I put it on, it's obviously oversized, but that's perfect. That's just is perfect for me. So anyway, I do have a video coming out in the next month or two on how I did this, of course, but you can't follow the video for what you need to do. It's just kind of a video to show how you can convert a sleeve into crochet. Obviously, every single jacket is going to be different and is going to look a little different, but I do show you how to deal with that. Um, so anyway, it'll be not so much a pattern as much as an idea and how you can craft. Maybe you have an old jacket or something in your closet and you want to repurpose it and make good use of it. Okay, now here's a jacket, another jacket that I bought. Again, this was like on the $10 rack at Charlotte Russe. And it was a short-waisted jacket. I don't like to wear short-waisted anything for my age range, my demographic. I prefer not to show my tummy, if you know what I mean. So this is one of those jackets that was short-waisted. So I thought, I need to do something about that. See if I can amend that. So I did. And I'm really happy with the way this came out. So this is what I did. I added popcorn lace to the bottom of the jacket. Now, I did not crochet this onto the jacket. I sewed this on to the jacket. I measured very carefully, and I will put out a video and I'll show you what I did, what I used, how I did it, so that it'll give you ideas and how you can repurpose maybe something from maybe yarn from your stash and use it to embellish maybe a jacket that needs a little bit of life. But this is so much fun because the way the popcorns, it hits me right at the waist. So it's almost like it's a nice little ruffle around the hip area. And it just looks like a normal jacket now. And I am going to go ahead, be right back. I'm going to show you what I did. I'm a-coming. All right. I should have had these before I sat down. But let me show you how I got the lace to look like this. The thumbnail that I used for the video today showed this on the blocking boards along with a shawl. And I also blocked the baby blanket this week. And this is how I did it. And there are several different brands on Amazon. And I do have some links in the video description that may take you there. They have different variations, but a lot of them look a lot like this. And you see how this is a nice, thick, cushy section. And these go together beautifully. I actually have 3 sets, and I could probably use another one when I block really big blankets, which I don't do too much, but occasionally I'll do need to block them if it's depending on the design. But they go together very easily like a puzzle like this. And the lines are really helpful in getting things straight. And instead of using pins that can easily get caught in families' feet and whatnot, I have blocking combs. I know I've showed these to you before. I'm going to put them in front of there so that you can see. And so these just hold the fabric down. They stick into the fabric and into the board and hold it in place so that you can block it by spraying it with water if you just want to wet block it, which works well for, most wools. You don't want to use heat on wool, just FYI. Maybe you might want to use a steam heat on acrylic. Maybe not. You can try the wet blocking, and if it doesn't work as well, you can always use a steam, either a steamer if you have a steamer. I have a little portable steamer, or if you can use your iron, but do not iron things because that will ruin it will melt your acrylic. But anyway, so these are really, really helpful. And I'll even say they make blocking a joy. Instead of having a bunch of wet towels hanging around trying to figure out how to do things, these make it fun. They really do. I never thought I would say that about blocking. I resisted investing in these for a long time. A bunch of these Um, Depending on where you get them, these can cost anywhere from $40 to $60 a pack. Okay, they're not cheap. And these are around 30. But there are different ones online if you do a search on Amazon or various places. But Amazon I found has probably the best prices on these and a huge selection. But again, I have some links in the video description. You can just check that out. It'll get you in the ballpark and then you can look from there. So I just wanted to be sure to show you these goodies today. Something I haven't talked a lot about. I'm really looking forward this summer. I'm going to be working on getting these out. And let me know what you think of those. I don't know if that's something that just, oh, that looks really weird to you, or would you wear that? Or do you think that's something for a teenager? I mean, let me know. I'd love to hear, what you think on that. But I'm one who wears I wear stuff that embarrasses my husband sometimes, so you can't go by me, I guess. I love to wear jackets with fringe and, all sorts of stuff. It's just fun for me. Um, and somebody wants to know how many sock yarn balls or hanks, I guess, are needed for the top of the sweater, the pink and purple one that I showed. Yeah, this one, I use 2. 2 for the top and 2 for the bottom because these stitches are much more, um, they're just thicker. So 2 for the top and 2 for the bottom, and that will work for, sizes up to, extra large, maybe even 2X. It just depends on, your crochet style and whatnot, but I think, yeah, 4 balls of that. You might be able to get it on sale. I know that they're regularly around $11 a ball, so that's about $44 for the project. But again, if it turns out well and you like it, then you'll have a really nice sweater to wear for years. And um, it is an investment. Um, okay. Hannah asked me to pray. Okay, said Joni Trisher needs prayer. Heart results are in, and she needs the cardiologist. Sees the cardiologist next week. Okay, we can definitely do that, Joni. You're already on the list too. I think I've been praying for that as well from a previous time. So definitely, definitely. And it is 102 already. Um, let me just look real quick through here. Debbie, it's good to see you in the chat. Debbie, is it Pereira? Um, and Charlene Lucas she says hello to all from O'Fallon. Today, remember the sacrifice that Jesus made for us. Yes. Yeah. Amen. And Vicky, Good Friday from Eastern Washington. Wow. Be making that beautiful baby blanket for 2 new babies. Thank you. I hope you enjoy it, Vicky. It goes really fast and the colors make it really fun too. And Betty Sanders, hello to you from West Virginia. And Ellen Yarn Over Hooks says hello and happy Easter. Thank you, Ellen. Um, and Coffee Cap Crochet says it will be a rainy Easter here in Vegas, and it's also my husband's birthday. Feels like a present from God as he loves rainy, cloudy weather, and it's rarely here. Yeah. Yeah, I bet, 'cause rain in the desert, that is a blessing in a sense. Yeah. And thanks again for the reminder of the thumbs up, Denise. Um, all right. Yeah, Sheila Smith says, I'm close to the South Carolina line, so I'm much warmer than Kitty Hawk. Yes, vitamin D is so important. Yes, yes. Um, uh, y'all are so great. Then Phil acknowledging about the truckers in Baltimore says, "Yep, go all the way around Baltimore, adds a bunch of miles." I am so sorry, Phil. You should stop by and say hi sometime if you're ever in Gaithersburg. That would be fun to meet some of y'all. Meet at a restaurant or something. Um, and Sheila says, I admit I'm working on several knit shawls currently instead of crochet, but still crochet too. Hey, they're both great crafts, Sheila. I'm working, well, I have been working on a knit sweater as well, but I always prioritize my crochet first just because of the channel and it's my business. But I enjoy the sweater. I think I'm going to probably put a pause on the sweater for a while. I just kind of stalled on it and got some other projects going, but I just get other ideas. But I think it's great to have a couple of different things going. Um, Currently, once I finish my sweater, I have no other crochet project on the hook. I've got plenty of yarn and ideas. I need to start something. Actually, that's not true. It is true. Nothing else is on the hook currently, but I have the yarn sitting in my kitchen to wind for another project out of my Celtic cable crochet book. Um, Archer and A says that I gave that basket weave blanket I slaved over to my cat Archer. Of course you did. That's great. Um, And Denise has said, "Yeah, I thought of Paul as well as all the trucking people." Well, Phil, thank you. Yeah, I think she meant Phil. Phil, thank you so much again and Wanda for all the ways you serve us behind the scenes with those trucks, looking out for us not so smart drivers on the highway as well, who don't understand momentum and being able to stop on a dime. Thank you guys. Thank you for looking out for us and just for keeping us all supplied and everything from yarn to food to whatever we need. Um, you guys are the heroes working behind the scenes. Um, Denise says when St. Patrick's Day falls on a Friday, the Pope approved it to be okay to eat corned beef. Okay. Uh, yeah, sometimes rules are meant to be broken, I guess. And besides, that's not what saves us anyway. It's what Jesus did on the cross on Good Friday that we celebrate. That's what saves us, not whether we eat corned beef or whether we eat meat or not. I mean, that's probably a little bit of my other philosophy too is we're not saved by works, but we're saved by grace and yeah, the perfect sacrifice. Um and Wanda, Crochet Done My Way, she's another trucker in our chat. She says, I've been across that bridge a few times. I was in New Jersey when it happened. Oh my goodness, Wanda, I'm so glad you weren't on that bridge. There was a truck, I guess I think it was a cement mixer that also went into the river. So yeah, I'm so glad that you guys were not affected by that. And Sheila Dale, considering our let me get back here. There's a lot of comments, guys. I am just not gonna be able to get to everything. Oh, thank you, Lynn. You guys are so always so sweet. Charlene Lucas says, I have 6 grandkids, and while watching you, I just stuffed 200 Easter eggs. It's going to be 73 degrees on Easter. Oh my goodness. That's gonna be great. You're not be able to wear your nice summery spring clothes instead of sweaters. Um, yeah. Okay. Well, it is already 8 minutes after, so I so appreciate you all. And Mimi loves crochet. Good to see you in the chat. I'm gonna see if there's anybody I missed. I so appreciate your all your comments. Thank you, Sandra Harper, for your well wishes. There was one that I was starting to read, then it just kind of jumped up ahead of me. Hannah just sent me a question. Those blocking boards are expensive. Is there any way to get it cheaper? For example, foam used in boat furniture, or is it equal? Um, it's hard to say. These foam kind of things are not cheap. And actually, I went to Home Depot the other day because I got some foam things to go under where I stand at fiber festivals because I'm going to be at that's the one thing I forgot to add into my docket here. I'm going to be at the Frederick's Fiber Festival on April 27th. So that's just 4 weeks away. That's a Saturday. Be there from 9 until 5, I believe. Be selling my books, and I'll have some samples of crochet that I'll have available for sale. These would be model samples that I made that I don't wear. And I have a bunch of that stuff. So I have some of that available. But I bought the foam mats that I'm gonna stand on, and just to get, about what I need, it cost me $100. And they're not as thick as the ones I showed you. They're thinner. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put those down, and I have a rug that I'm gonna put on top of that we used to have in our family room, so that when I'm standing there, I don't have to, you know, go to a back surgeon after I'm done for the day, just to kind of make it easier to stand, in regards to my back and whatnot. And they're not cheap, and that was probably as discounted a price as I could get them. I compared, and that was about as best I can do. Yeah, they're not cheap, but one thing about a lot of these mats that you'll see in the description is they're heat resistant. So not all foam is going to stand up to you taking hot steam from an iron and steaming things onto them. I mean, some foam will just melt. So look in the video description, or in the product description if you buy any of these. Make sure they're heat resistant. So and also the way these are, they are self-healing. In other words, when you stick the pins in and take them out, the foam will close back around. You're not going to have just a bunch of holes. They do self-heal. But, it's an investment. They're not cheap, no, and you could probably do other things, but if you're gonna use them a lot, I do this as a profession, so I use these a lot, and, they're quick, they're easy, they're a joy to work with, so sometimes it's just good to invest a little bit more. You could probably you might be able to find, mats that they put down, like, for kids, uh, like, for flooring. Actually, that's what I got to go for the fair, but I wouldn't use those for blocking. They're not as good as these. So, yeah, they are expensive. It is what it is. All right. So thank you, AV. Thank you for sending that question in. So let me just look real quick here. I will look through the rest of these again. Yeah, thanks, Denise. She said, and if wanted to make sure I knew still what was in the basket. Yeah, thanks for asking about that. It's just something I put in the background just to make it a little more interesting. Um, and thank you for your well wishes, Sandra, on the Easter wishes. Oh, thank you, Denise. She likes the jacket with the crocheted bottom. I'm glad somebody likes it. And Mimi loves crochet, says wonderful ideas. Thank you for that. And yeah, and Joni, we will keep you in prayer. Uh, and Charlene likes the idea of the jacket. Okay, good, good. I'm just wondering whether to add any more anywhere else. I don't want to overdo it, but I think I feel like it needs it somewhere like around the collar, something white around the collar to kind of help offset it, but we'll see. All right, well, I'm going to go ahead. I wanted to read to you the words to the song that I played from today. This is a very old song. I don't have the name of the person who wrote it, but I'm sure it was from at least 200 years ago. So this is based on uh, the verse from Isaiah 53:5, which says, "He was pierced for our transgressions, he was crushed for our iniquities." So the song again is "O Sacred Head Now Wounded." If you joined us late, I played the melody at the very beginning of the broadcast, so you can always just go back to the beginning and listen. But I'm going to read the three verses. They're so beautiful. O sacred head now wounded, with grief and shame weighed down, now scornfully surrounded with thorns, thine only crown. O sacred head, what glory, what bliss till now was thine. Yet though despised and gory, I joy to call thee mine. What thou, my Lord, hast suffered was all for sinners' gain. Mine was the transgression, but thine the deadly pain. Lo, here I fall, my Savior, 'tis I deserve thy place. Look on me with thy favor, vouchsafe to me thy grace. What language shall I borrow to thank thee, dearest friend, For this thy dying sorrow, thy pity without end. O make me thine forever, and should I fainting be, Lord, let me never, never outlive my love to thee. Well, wishing you all a wonderful, um, but meditative, blessed Good Friday. But as many of you said in the chat, Sunday is coming. God bless. Have a wonderful Easter, wonderful Resurrection Day. God bless.